Greetings, greetings, sending all some warm, positive vibrations. Oh my goodness. Is this live? Is there somebody in here already? Greetings. Sending some warm, positive vibrations. So, this early day, it is Saturday. So, I'm about to go to the market and then I have to water in the garden. And we have some folks that are also visiting. But I wanted to um, just come in and send y'all some warm vibes. Number one, share some relaxation, some quick deep breathing just to get that in because it's free. We have access to it. Also, just want to share and encourage you folks with really very fine Afro textured hair, right? And that may be in endeavoring on this freedom hair, you know, that we can actually be creative. I'm very creative, even though I wasn't a cornrower per se. I wasn't good with the cornrows, but I was able to manage double strand twists. And that's what I was able to do. So I got greetings, greetings. I was able to do so much creatively with it. And so now I have a little length. And even if I don't have length, I'm very, very creative. And I think that's a part of our ritual and our self-care. And it's a lot of fun. So this is my little hairstyle. Playing in my crown. I love to play in my hair. I don't want to be obligated to have to do hair because I have other things to do. And it's only took me a couple of minutes. So, you sometimes, especially if you have really fine hair that's not dense, you might be feeling like left out. None of these tutorials don't work for me. I've tried all the slicking back with the gel, hair gel. I really did like hair gel, but the thought of being a slave to makeup or being a slave to something, I don't know, it doesn't really move me. And then when you go to get wet and you jump in the pool and taking swimming lessons, all that black gel, doesn't look good. It's dissolving in the pool. That's not fun. That's not fun. So this is just simply my little hairstyle, my little crown today. It's just two very loose braids because again, I don't want to braid my hair very tight because if you have loose hair, first of all my locks are coming in flat. Hey, I'm accepting it, celebrating it, letting it work for me. So I don't want to make the hair compressed and I don't do any twisting. So everything is really loose. So it's just two light braids. And then I love gold cord. So I just put two little loose ponytail holders, very, very loose at the end. And I just wrapped it in some cord. So that's my little style for today. So we can be creative too. We can rock our own skin. And we can also feel comfortable. Shout out to all my women out there, my folks that are dealing with a lot of acne or overweight. I feel you. But I'm also here to encourage you. And I can let you know for a fact, I don't tell grown folks what to do, but Proactive and all those expensive products didn't work for me. Eating fresh, whole, unprocessed foods as a lifestyle work for me, and putting the food that I eat on my face. That's what worked for me. I'm just saying. I put food on my face. So if you should ever come across me and you see me wiping fruits and vegetables on my face, don't feel no way because that's what I do and I ain't ashamed. And I just like my lips can breathe. I don't feel like I need lip gloss. That's actually something very distinct that I noticed with eating living foods, that my lips don't really get chapped and they feel very, very hydrated with nothing on them. So 3 cheers for eating fresh food. And should I get a blemish periodically, it clears up very, very quickly. So I don't feel like I have to put, and then just the thought of putting dangerous chemicals and bleach and all kinds of things that can contribute to fibroids and tumors and cysts in my skin, right? Some of us wear pain patches, or our family wear pain patches. So that's letting you know that we absorb chemicals right through our skin that go into our bloodstream. So if I can't eat it, I don't want it on my skin, right? The largest eliminative organ. So that being said, this early days I was moving around quietly because shout out, y'all may know if you've been on this channel, I'm an early riser. So I'm usually up at 4 or 4:30. I just find it it's the most peaceful, relaxing, insightful part of the day. You catch the sunrise before people get up and there's so much noise. I find the external noise is it's rattling. I think it rattles our peace. So I really make an effort to leverage the early morning hours. Excuse me. So this early days, I was moving around, cleaning and beautifying my space and making it smell really nice, and taking my shower, meditation. See, these are opportunities for meditation. I'm just saying, when you're really oiling yourself down and doing your excuse me, men folk, but when you're doing your breast massage, facial massage, stomach massage, these are opportunities every day for real self-care. It really does make you feel better about yourself. I'm just saying. So as I'm beautifying myself, and I'll put some essential oils, not many oils, but lemongrass. Oh my gosh, it can really shift your mood. So in the quiet and these rituals in my space, feels nice, and I'm spending time with my little plants and stuff like that. You can really, as you get quiet, hear an internal communication that I've observed is quiet. It doesn't fight to be heard. But the more relaxed you are, I find that you can even uh, tune into your own guidance system that is it's direct. It's real. It's direct. It doesn't need a middleman. And don't want to offend anybody. Just one woman. Anything I say that doesn't resonate, by all means, please just leave it right here. Do you like my hair, free spirit? This is so simple. Thank you. I love it. I love me, and I'm gonna be honest. Every now and then I play in makeup, and I find maybe one day I will, but I find I feel so. First of all, I feel like I can't breathe. That's number one, and I know I'm going to go in the garden. I know I want to sweat. That's a part. Play for me, it's a priority. But then I just feel so artificial. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing, but I just feel plasticky. It just feels like I like my own skin. I like so it just two braids, very loosely braids, two ponytail holders at the end. I don't have the greatest camera, but I tried to record it. Sometimes I just got to move in the spirit because I only got so many hours in a day. And I just wrapped it with a little bit of cord. So just to encourage, we could be a little fancy too. And I'm the double strand I have a list. Twist queen. If you have loose natural and you have very fine hair, which is what I had because I didn't intend for my hair to lock. It locked on its own. My style, my Jimmy Jam, was to take two banana clips, right? And if my hair was still loose natural, I'd most likely use castor oil and aloe. That's pretty much it, right? But I'll take two banana clips and put them on the side, and I would do three very loose double strand twists. And I would get the same effect, either two Afro buns, now I say Afro lock buns, or two loose twists and a banana clip, and take those three loose twists and twist it. And I find it so elegant. Well, let's see, with my own thing too, I only do 5% of my time is lipstick. Yeah, so there are some things I'm playing with that I really do. Now I ain't gonna. I love me some. I like my own toenails, right? Not in terms of tips, but I do like toenail polish. You know, it's one of the few things that I really like. Now, I won't wear it all the time because I do think that seeing your own nails and seeing what your body is doing is very important to your health. Your body is communicating all the time. So we want to watch discoloration and mold. These things are telling us the body's communicating about circulation or lack of circulation. So it is also, I think, good to be able to sit with yourself with nothing on. So I will play from time to time with, usually I'll put shea butter. See, I'm giving my little secrets. I usually put shea butter on my eyelashes and my eyebrows. And I used to be deathly fearful, not deathly, but really, really fearful of putting any kind of oil on my face because it has so much acne. But I found with food, I don't have to do that. So, and there are some vegan polishes out, or I will play around with, I'm practicing my henna designs. So those are things I still very much, and I want to say to women that should come across this channel, I invite you not to follow anybody. That's just my little 2 cents. Don't follow anybody. Now, if you find something here that resonates with you, try it on for size. See what works with you. But sometimes this climate of social media, we can be very voyeurish of other people. And some people get upset with other people. They say they didn't work. It's just like my hair. Who am I going to be mad at because my hair is not doing what somebody else's hair is doing? So I really like toe rings. I love me some toe rings. Y'all want to give me some gifts? Toe rings. I love toe rings. I like little accents. I like to be very active. I usually like little delicate earrings. And I did some really nice vegan nail polishes. So I'll go between that. And I'll also buff my nails very gently so I don't have to wear any polish, right? Because again, I want to be free. I don't want give somebody a brown face print when you go to hug them. I don't want mascara. I will play around with some really nice mascara, but I still do my conditioning with my my shea butter on my eyelashes. Everybody got to have their rituals. These are mine. But from time to time, I will do a really nice. They're more pricey, but at least they don't have formaldehyde and embalming fluid inside the toenail polish. So for me, primarily, health is my number one beauty product. That's my personal. I got my own little language over here. Health is my number one beauty product because who wants to keep spending money on bigger clothing sizes? I'm a big eater. I'm also a professional chef. And I knew years ago, even when I was doing fitness competitions, I knew I don't want to diet. I don't want to diet. And so I'm amazed that someone that also was a junk food junkie that I gain weight very easily. I don't have a portion of my thyroid, obesity, morbid obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure run in my family. Also the lifestyle habits and I don't want to say a lot, that many of us were raised with a religious bypass on many communication skills and not having the wherewithal or the experience in managing stress, right? So many of us were eating ourselves to death to medicate. So I don't demonize it. I rather have a curiosity and an understanding. If I understand a problem, then I'm more likely to be more effective at a solution. Does that make sense? Who's in here saying free spirit? K Robinson's greetings. You play too much brown face print. You know what I'm saying? When you go to give somebody a hug and it's like, dang, I put a whole face of makeup on. I used to work in a travel industry and the position I worked, I would constantly have to reapply makeup. That to me, hair gel, it's like, I can't. Having to wear heels all the time of different size. I was like, when I leave this job, I don't ever want to wear. Now, I love the way heels look. I'm not going to front. But I do know health comes first. I'm not trying to jack on my lower back. I want to keep my pelvis intact. And I don't like corns. My son he said, Mommy, you should wear those shoes because those shoes are going to give you corns. Don't you just love children? And also my son would say, Mommy, he said, you shouldn't eat that, even if it was health junk. He said, you shouldn't eat that. And you say when you eat that and make your face break out, why are you eating that? Don't you just love children? That's what my son would tell me. So no, I don't want to. I just check. Isn't it wonderful to feel comfortable? I like feeling comfortable in my own skin. To me, then I feel very sexual and sensual to me, right? It's like saying, let's be honest. A lot of us as Afro women, right? Shout out to my brothers that's out here, but let me just say sisters, to the women out there, all women. There's a pride let me just ask a question. All the money that we've spent or have spent on wigs or things to alter our hair, if that was your hair, wouldn't you have more of a healthy sense of vanity, even dare I say a little ego about it's mine? We even go to all of these channels, right, with women with long hair, particularly if they're Afro women, because we felt for years that we could not grow our hair long. We just did not understand our hair. We didn't see examples of folks being patient with our hair. Plus, we didn't get positive feedback all the time with our hair, which is why I say Afro locks. I like to make that distinction. I ain't knocking nobody. Whatever your flavor, my fellow herbs and human flowers out there. But I'm going to distinguish this because it has a unique experience with it, right? That temptation. Let me just get a little gel. I resist that temptation. Not so much of a temptation, but I'm big on work with what you got, and I feel like it's energetic. It's an energy thing. When somebody really feels comfortable in their skin, I think that's more. I think that's more. I think it's more. I think it's more beautiful. I think it's more. It's a sensuality. I don't know if just want to say sexy. I find sexy these days kind of has its limitations because that's an energy, but sensuality. I think there's a distinction between sexy and sensuality, and sensual is more like an internal confidence. Like, I don't know, it's just, I don't know, it's an energetic, and I don't know, this is what I was thinking as well. I don't know how much you can fake that, or how long you can maintain the facade of when you're just not comfortable in your skin. I like, that's a friggin' drag. When you feel like, I gotta fix this, I want to cut this. We just like in an age. One time it would have been unheard of with whatever stuff we got going on. It would have been unheard of to see Afro women cutting off perfectly healthy body parts. I remember coming up, even though we have our challenges, whatever, culturally, all human beings do, by the way, but just we had a natural sachet and we had a natural confidence around our curves and our skin. Even some of my African clients, they let you know, as Caribbean, let you know in a second, they like curves. They're not feeling, no offense to my folks that are more slim, because we come in all different sizes, shapes, and shades. But I thought it was really interesting culturally. They like us with fuller. We didn't have a problem with it, and culturally, I noticed that's different. When I was working with my Asian folks and my vanilla folks, different cultural nuances. That's the joy. I love being in my skin, drinking water, and striving to eat right. I too had acne growing up, and I learned it was the wrong food. Yeah. But also when everybody around you is doing it. See, yeah, we're smart. We got numerous degrees and all that. But I am humbled. I am humbled, and I don't take for granted that as human beings that we have a tendency to move very sheep-like and very mob-like and very groupthink. It just is what it is. So it really takes something, I would say, a type of internal courage and maturity to not go along with what everybody's doing it, and not to question things, even if there's something really small, that part of your essence that's communicating, I'd rather wear my own skin. But we're doing things, let's be honest, to be chosen. And I'm not even going to demonize that, but it really takes something to stand in your own, on your square, right? I can think of a woman right now, one of my favorite people, the poem dances. Oh my gosh, I love her. Check her YouTube channel out. She's a doctor. She's a medical doctor, and she has freeform locks, and her energy is so beautiful. Just her, she has a confidence in who she loves, and sometimes we can have a tendency to block us all into one thing. Sometimes I'll get comments in some of my other social media, which I get it. And it's nice, blacknificent, and we're, black, 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 black. And I get it. I don't even have to say it because that's what I am, obviously. Particularly it stands out when I'm working in other populations. However, we, not all of us, because we share the same hairstyle or we share the same skin color, we're very varied in our values. We're very valued. So I don't have an interest, because at this point in my life, I choose not to consume the flesh of other animals. I am not here by any means to condemn people. People condemn their own selves with their own behavior. That's not my job. That's not, it doesn't even feel good to me. So that mob thing and this climate of social media, running from one page or one celebrity to another, it's like sometimes I sit and wonder. Just I observe that it's easier, my list. It's easier to follow behind other people than to press pause on a distraction and really just deal with ourselves. And maybe perhaps some of us don't even know how to approach old trauma, vices. That's a good use of our time. But it's such an age of hyper distraction, like a mob like mentality, how we get behind pastors, ministers, all these middlemen and politicians to the point like where we become very non-thinking. Like we're putting poison in our mouths, things that we know are literally poisonous to our internal organs. I get the skin and the hair, that's nice, but to the kidneys, the liver, the spleen, while we're munching on toxic treats, pointing a finger at the screen, sometimes it borders on insanity. No, not bored. It occurs to me as insane, but that's just my little 2 cents. So something I was thinking about in terms of self-worth, there are other things that I think of as beauty. And I share a lot about just simple relaxation. We take it for granted. It's very easy. And I even noticed, even myself, that, and I acknowledged, one time I would have never acknowledged, nothing wrong with me. I'm Superwoman. I can keep going. You see what happened to real Superman in real life, right? Christopher Reeves. Superman need help. Superman need help too. So one time, we can have a pride about we got it, we're doing it all. And it's like, I could do a lot. That don't mean I need to do a lot and wear my whole body and all my vitality and my energy out, because eventually you can become very resentful towards many of the things you love, whether that's your work or you may not be enjoying your children as much because you burnt out, taking on too much out of a sense of ego and pride. And I find that in particular, as part of our experience, every people have the experience, but I think somehow we would Jedi mind flipped into taking on the identity that being very proud of being a mule. And I got it. No, I don't got it. I don't want to got it all the time. And so one time I'd be just carrying my bicycle up and I had another woman tell her son, say, no, put that down. Let him carry that. And I was like, that was like an epiphany for me. Because I'm so used to trucking stuff. Yeah, but you take on this identity if you got it. And eventually at some point, you're going to get tired. You're going to get tired and you may be resentful that you don't have help. And I get it, sometimes there may be no one around, right? So you got to be able to do stuff, but allow other people to help you. I don't find it that we are good at receiving because our identity has become a pride and I got it, but it's coming at an expense to our energy and our vitality, the fact that we got it all the time. Does that make sense? Yes, you're responsible for yourself. And here's the other distinction. And I got it all the time. Somehow we've lost, again, the receiving part, allowing folks to be reciprocal. So that can show up in us not charging for our services, allowing people to waste. We are allowing people to waste our time and to not be reciprocal. And then wondering why we feel so angry and resentful. It's like working with folks that are not compensating you enough for the time and the drama that they're putting you. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. Whatever. So beauty from another angle and relaxation, right? Beauty number one health product, and relaxation is also a health product, right? So working with food addiction, sometimes other substances in today's climate, just my little 2 cents, we say moderation. I, for many years, think that's a crock of crap. For most of the folks, I see a crock of crap. Because if we're walking around with so much unhealthy, I may want to make the distinction of unhealthy adipose tissue, right? That is compromising our arteries, our brain, puts us at more risk for a heart attack. That's telling you something, that you're not doing moderation. And it also says there's a lack of accountability. We know that when we're taking certain substances, also, even when we're being very social, we lose those cues because we're trying to fit in, or we're going through whatever social niceties and, just trying to go along to get along at our own expense. So I think that whole thing of moderation, I think, is a crock of crap. But that's just me. So relaxation, when you're able to relax at a party or or a social gathering, if you're able to be relaxed and more grounded, then it's more likely that you can stay in alignment with the goals that you set for yourself, right? Number one goal, especially your training, especially the times you're looking more ripped. I go to a what do you call it? A fundraiser, or I go to a function or a family function. First thing people want to talk about is food. I am not the food police. People want to talk about food. They want to talk about fitness. Can you work me out? That just goes with the profession. But folks, at the same time, where it's not sustainable. Usually people are not really serious. It's momentary. And I don't want to demonize it, but a lot of times it's momentary enthusiasm. Because a lot of there's a lot that we know to do. And folks in the bathroom at gyms, especially high-end gyms, any gym, and if you go in the bathroom, all the women are talking about what they read in Prevention Magazine, and I tried this tip, and my trainer, and this and that. You know what I've noticed that most people don't focus on? Give you a little gem. What they have left out permanently. So that's more challenging. We can add all these supplements. I bought this. I bought MSM powder. I got glucosamine. Oh, did you try this prenatal? But what about what you're leaving out? And if you are continually subjecting yourself, not making it right or wrong for, because most likely there's a reason, subjecting yourself to being in harm's way, subjecting yourself to very bad feeling, very toxic relating, right? It's a pattern, right? If you keep subjecting yourself, if you don't get up and walk away, get your little self up and walk away, right, from something that you've identified as a pattern of dysfunctional relating, more than likely you're constantly being triggered, so you will likely medicate. Does this make sense? See, a lot of times people want me to give them recipes and workouts, but I've been in this profession, on this path for many years, so I observe patterns within myself and other people. I observe patterns. So if you're constantly under stress, and if you keep subjecting yourself to relationships, I have been there too. If you are relating with people, that could be your brother, your siblings, your lover, your husband, a way of relating. More than likely, that is going to gnaw at you, and it's there, and it's in your subconscious. You know you're doing it. More than likely, you are going to continuously medicate yourself, because there's a need to medicate yourself. But you're subjecting yourself to. Now, you may feel you may feel obligated to listen to certain people's stuff. You may feel obligated, but interesting, there's no obligation to yourself and being protective about your peace. This is kind of making sense. So more than likely, you're subjecting yourself to stress. And that which is subjecting yourself, the mental processes that you're going through, you're medicating yourself with a myriad of substances. There are chemical responses that are happening inside of your body. So can you see why I'm always talking about and practicing and endeavoring to practice relaxation? When you get quiet, then more than likely you can become very discerning. Your vision, just like your palate can change as you change your food, your vision, your eyesight can change. It takes a while. It does take a while. So shout out to respecting process. But you'll start to notice after a while, like, I could really get up and exit, right? Some people may feel like you can't exit a situation if you live with somebody or your spouse or your children. The relaxation is first up here. When you really start to be like, you know what, I cannot control other people. That's a farce. You can only control your children for so long, right? There are other human beings. We call them children. You call them parents like they're yours, but these are other human beings, their own stuff going on. And it can be easier sometimes to fix everybody else out and be an ear for everybody else. And we're not that for ourselves. So if you're not getting that lap time, and you're not giving yourself, you don't have that safe space. If you don't have that safe space to emote, if you never process the emotions, get all of that stuff that's packed down like an impacted colon, there's so much stuff impacted down in our subconscious, right? I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't have a desire to be. However, there's certain things, right, that I can trust in my own divine, onboard, innate common sense. I was born with it, but it's been compromised in the environment that we're in. All of the programming leads you outward, outward, outward. So much distraction that you can't hear. So it takes there's no wonder that we don't trust ourselves. So if you don't trust yourself, right, it's backdoor mentality. If you don't trust yourself, you know what to do, but you don't take it any further than that. Most of us, I bet everybody in this live knows exactly what to do and what not to do, at least some of what not to do. But are you engaging it? And if not, I ask you to suspend for a moment. Don't judge yourself. Have a healthy curiosity. What is the disconnect? Right? So relaxation, I consider it a beauty product because it is a beauty product at the root. It's a beauty product, it's a health product. It's at the root because there you can hear, you can process your emotions and your feelings, which are driving most of your behaviors, right? This is some of the work we go over in the cocoon, right? We get to the bottom of it because some of us may not be having these kinds of dialogues or respectful dialogues and have respectful feedback. So we keep looping the same information. If you keep having the same conversation with the same people, that likely means no new information is coming in. So then you're doing the same thing, really desiring a different result, right? So relaxation is so key. And also, if you get up and you walk away from toxic relating that just makes you feel bad, right? And sometimes you can feel righteous rage. You feel like I'm so angry, but your focus, your time, and your attention, your emotions are expensive. Your emotions are expensive. Your emotions are expensive. Just one woman's opinion. I hope you don't hate me, be mad at me. But with all the stuff with us burning up stores in our own neighborhood, did that really fix anything? Is that emotionally mature? If we call ourselves kings and queens, could we have perhaps come up with some other kinds of solutions? Would other alternative solutions require us maybe to get up and walk away from anyone, whatever color, companies, people that demonstrate a lack of maturity, a lack of reciprocity, a lack of care that consistently demonstrated? So it's a different perspective. And what would I do if that's our way, if that's our perspective, if those are the glasses that we're looking out from, could we be much more productive in our lives? Will we have a lot more energy to focus, to study, to acquire new skills, to investigate new things? Like sometimes my brain is like bursting, like sometimes I can't stop studying and learning from other human beings. Like sometimes I just want to I wish I could just turn on the camera. I just learn so much every day. People of other cultures eat differently than me, different people, the most unlikely people. Sometimes I'm humbled by the amount that I'm learning from people. If I'm in a whole nother mood, see, your emotions are giving you clues. I'm in a whole nother mood. I feel so inspired and motivated when I'm learning. So anger is a real emotion. How can we channel that energy? Just the other day, I was feeling irritated, extremely irritated about something. And I have a practice. I can hear myself more now from being quiet. And I was kind of feeling like, I wanted a breakthrough. And so sometimes I have audiobooks or things on while I'm prepping food or moving around. And something came up on my feed, right? And I ain't no Mukaju person. But sometimes literally when you're asking a question, right? Similar to when you ask a question of your own divine onboard innate intelligence, you are effectively putting something on your radar. Don't you know? And this happened numerous times. There was a business I'll call it a course. It was an equivalent of a course. Oh my gosh. It was paradigm shifting. It was a paradigm shift. Oh my gosh. So this man took out a worksheet and he was working out the cost of the difference between a solopreneur, I'll give you an example, a solopreneur and an entrepreneur, right? In scaling business, right? Going in. little time before I go to the market. Oh my gosh, been on here for long. But check it. So if you're a entrepreneur, he said something. He said, if you grew up around folks that are entrepreneurial, there may have been certain things you are exposed to. Now, this was on my radar because I recognize patterns. I remember watching one of my landlords back in the day. He always had his little son with him when he went to collect the rent. I remember observing, wow, his son is used to that. So I would have I would have all kinds of conversations with my son from a little boy. Some of it I'm sure was over his head. But I also, looking back, realized that you can talk to people, but a lot of times people don't have a practical frame of reference for so what you're talking about. If I'm talking about food and fitness and I understand calories, whether it's raw, vegan, keto, I can do that stuff with my eyes closed. But I have realized a lot of times, even though clients may be motivated, they don't have a frame of reference. So a lot of times you stay in your own trajectory until you have another experience. It's like a light bulb moment goes off and you can see other possibilities for yourself. Some people don't believe that their skin can clear up. Why? Because they don't have evidence of an experience. Does this make sense, what I'm saying to you? So this man was breaking down the cost of delegating, what your cost is per hour for an hour of your services, and how much if you're outsourcing, you're delegating all those times. Because if you spend, let's say if I'm spending all my time editing videos, which is why sometimes I don't edit videos, going to have so much time. Got a lot of back content. So this is more inspiration for working with interns and other people. But anyway, if an hour of my time is $150, but I'm constantly doing video editing, I'm constantly doing these other little tasks, I can't be networking, going to other events, meeting new clients. So he did a cost analysis on it. Oh my gosh. When he said he did it several times. He said, I want you to be very, very, very clear on how much it's costing you to not delegate. And sometimes we can have an ego. If you're from the old school and you take a lot of pride in working, right? A lot of Black women do this. A lot of Afro people do this because we value hard work. I talk about my Grandma Lou all the time, but I had to resolve that in my brain and say, Grandma Lou worked harder so that I can work smarter. So anywho, I had a whole paradigm shift when he gave me a frame of reference, right? I had a different frame of reference. Oh my gosh. I was like, this is why I'm absolutely in love with learning. Last night, one of my favorite language people, young man, just passed away. He's a polyglot. I don't know if you know what a polyglot is. I always wanted to be a polyglot from a little girl, to speak as many languages as possible. So now this is why I'm always saying, are we leveraging the internet? If we're not, what the heck are we doing? We have been talking about so-and-so supremacy, right? Glass half empty, glass half full. There's so much opportunity. But if we're so caught in very righteous rage, we may not be leveraging because we're so distracted. And I guarantee you marketers know how much the cost of distraction is. While you're distracted, part of my list, while you're distracted, you're not coming up with any innovative solutions. While you stressed out and distracted, you most likely going to down, I don't know how many bags of chips and other stuff. You're going to be eating mindlessly because your primal part of your brain is being freaked out by explosions, people killing each other. As a young woman, I used to say, I wanted to start a good news channel. That was me. I remember saying it years ago, there should be a good news channel because there's got to be a lot of stuff going on the planet, right? So different when your eyes are only focused on one experience. If I think of some folks very dear to me, but they say, if you stay circulating with the same people, the same conversation, nothing new is coming in. So that is literally their reality and feel justified and will fight you to stay in their reality. It doesn't make people bad or wrong, but the whole point is you can't see any other possibilities. So does this make sense? Nefer, hey Nefer, how are you? Send you so much positive vibration. Keep brothers information to sisters be paying attention. I don't know. Landon, is that I think it's a male, or Landon sounds like a male to me. Hopefully I'm not offending anyone. But anyway, I just wanted to touch in and just encourage folks to consider the cost of stress. Now, I can't control stress. I can't control, there's certain things I can't control. Some months ago, there was a natural catastrophe here, and like a few minutes away from me, folks were on a canoe. But when I tell you, again, I had a paradigm shift as I watch local folks. When I beyond bounce back, so the reality is we got to keep moving. Move all their stores and markets. Just moved it somewhere else and then moved it right back like it was nothing. Lost lots of inventory in business. If this was folks in the States, everybody would be freaking out. I don't know. We have the mental resilience that many of our ancestors had. We got a lot of convenience, but I don't know that we have the mental resilience. So something to consider. I invite folks to consider. I don't tell grown folks what to do. It's one woman's perspective. If it don't resonate, leave it here. I invite you to consider how important relaxation is. And it's like my son would tell me, I don't have to do a full 90-minute yoga because I can get real grand when it comes to exercise. He's like, Mommy, he gives me back what I told him. Sometimes you don't have to make it a big production relaxation. You don't have to do 20 million chants. You don't have to go to an ashram. You don't have to necessarily go to a house of worship. But just taking a few moments to relax, maybe several times a day, just like when folks make salat. But it doesn't have to be this big ritual. And no offense to folks, it doesn't always have to be to praying to something outside of yourself, begging and pleading, please help me, please help me. All the while not using the tools that we have access to, that are free, that we have access to. And sometimes I just wonder, the elements of truth in all religion, but there's a Jedi mind trick in there somewhere because there's too much disconnection going on. So when we're begging and pleading as if, I don't know, it's something that doesn't have the vibe of confidence. That's what I find just my observance with. So all the begging and pleading, which I get a lot of times we have been begging and pleading for a sign of relief, praying to something divine. But if there's a disconnect and we're not getting into action around things that we say that we value, major disconnect and a major lack of accountability. We're praying while not being accountable and not being responsible. What else is missing there? And not being respectful of our own body temples, not being sensitive to the fact that many of us are eating ourselves to the point of deformity. Or we might be nice and slim, because I've had folks in my family that have had amputations from diabetes. So we may be assuming because we're nice and slim that I can be disrespectful let me slow down. Be disrespectful of our body temple because children, they can't talk back. We're disrespectful a lot of children and what they're being exposed to. Many of us don't stand up now for children. And so then we're shocked when these children have an FU mentality and we see some stuff that look like it's bonkers. So where's the accountability and the respect for self and others and the responsibility? So I like to narrow things down to real simple, because then it's digestible. And I really love when I feel like I want to know, I want to cut through all the rhetoric and I just need to know what I need to do. Right? Somebody loved to read, used to go to all kind of culture stuff, conscious stuff, ashrams, the little stint with Islam. And I just need to know what I need to do as a mother. My time and my emotions, my focus is expensive. I got clothes to wash. I got stuff to do. So I need laser. And I want to be efficient. I want to be very, very efficient. Right? And I want to ease up a lot of the stress. So before I run off to the market, I invite you to consider that relaxation and health are a beauty tool. It's your #1 beauty product. So you're welcome, if you like, to join me just for a few minutes of deep breathing. Not even a few minutes, just a little teeny drop of relaxation. So you're welcome to take a comfortable position. If you have issues with your knees or with your lower back, feel free to sit up in a chair, and you want to tilt the bowl of your pelvis this way, like your belly button is going in the direction of your spine. That can help to straighten out your back so you don't have pain in your lower back, right? And you want to keep your spine. You don't want to have computer neck. You want to pull your chin in gently so your spine is in alignment, and make sure that your shoulders are down and you have a lot of space between your ear and your shoulders. Your eyes can be closed or open, and we're just going to listen, to just have a healthy curiosity to see if you're breathing deeply, if you're breathing from the neck up, which is very shallow when the lungs are down here, or if you're breathing deeply, right, so that your lungs expand with oxygen. And if you're inhale and exhale, if they're synchronized and if they're nice and long and deep, right? Sometimes the screen of your mind might have you going this way or that way. You might start nodding out and you might even fall asleep, but that's okay because the whole point is relaxation is a beauty tool and it's a health tool. It's a vitamin, it's a nutrient, it's a mineral. That's what I'm gonna call relaxation and health, right? If you're very healthy, you'll cut down, you save so much energy and you save so much money, so much currency. That currency is also bigger than money. So you're welcome to take a comfortable position. If your hips are very tight, you can put a yoga block underneath your hips. So that will help your hips to open up this way so you can be more comfortable. If you have a lot of pain or irritating pain in your knees or your shoulders, that's also a distraction from relaxation. So it's all these senses that are going on. And when you close your physical eye, you're turning your awareness inward. It also can ground you in this particular reality that we are in right now, right? On this physical plane where we pay rent and we get scars and stuff like that. It can ground you into the respect. Actually, I know everybody's trying to bypass this plane for the afterlife or another plane or 4D or whatever. But right now we're here and now. So it can really ground you into the urgency of your life. Relaxation can give you access to that. All right. So here we go. So now, perhaps a good time. You're invited to ask a question of your own divine, onboard, innate intelligence that you and I, all human beings, are born with. You can ask a question like, is it something that I'm not paying attention to? Is there some area of my body that needs attention? If you want to ask for guidance on a decision for business or relationship, you can ask your own divine, onboard, innate intelligence. And as you're quiet, usually the answer will come to you as you move around. It's also a good time, perhaps, to write a few words or a couple of sentences in your journal, right? You may even notice that sometimes you may get a little antsy. The longer you sit and breathe, this is a little short breathing, but if you do it longer and longer, there's almost like a fixation, like you want to get up and go do something. So you may find like it's challenging just to sit with yourself and to be quiet. And I invite you to have a healthy curiosity, even listen to the internal dialogue and all the judgments. This is stupid. Why am I doing this? Listen to the dialogue. When we talk about programming, you can tap into your own divine, onboard, innate intelligence. No offense. It doesn't need a pastor. It doesn't need an imam. I don't want to offend anybody. That's just one woman's experience. So I'm inviting you to consider relaxation. It's so important. So important. Without being relaxed, it's the anxiety is driving a lot of our behaviors. A lot of us don't know how to be quiet. And when I say don't know how, we're not practicing quiet and we're not encouraged to be quiet. And if somebody sometimes is inviting us to these types of practices, a lot of times it's compromised by other folks' intentions for us, which can be very, in this climate, is very cult-like. And so sometimes you can't trust other people's agenda for you, right? So how about consider you cultivating a trust of your guidance from the inside. And so I've found even if we press pause on the labels of vegan, vegetarian, whatever your respective religious or spiritual practices, if we turn down the volume and look at the behaviors, a lot of the behaviors are the same, right? A lot of the behaviors and the anxiety, it's the same with different labels on it. So I found that it can render us very easily manipulated as we're looking for answers and as we're looking for relief. So hopefully this is helpful. I'm inviting you all to create a great day on purpose. Whatever's going on, I'm gonna create a great day. I'm gonna make myself smell good. I'm gonna drink I'm gonna eat some beautiful food, some peaceful food. I'm put some music on with some lyrics that uplift me, right? So just the awareness, the quiet can really guide your behaviors. Yeah, create a great day on purpose. Feel free if you like to replay this. I'm big on, I got several things that are my secret weapons, if you will, or different things that have served me over the years that are the gifts that keep giving. And one of them is support and circle of influence. And even before this internet, even before CDs, and I don't even know what they have now, but I have always intuitively looked to create support and a circle of influence for myself. Even as a young woman, that's when I found cassettes of coaches at the library, right? Because I realized certain people around me weren't having certain conversations. And I always felt like we don't have to do things this way. We can do things another kind of way. So just intuitively, I always sought support works. Finding support for yourself and finding things that you have access to that are sustainable, right? It doesn't cost you anything. Breathing is yours. So y'all create a great day on purpose, just because you said so. So put something on, grow something. I hope y'all check out Sister Butterfly and Sister Monkey Learn to Eat Better, my little puppet series. I like to laugh. I really love joy. It doesn't mean every moment is joyous. No, that's just their dualities in life. but I'm choosing joy because that's what I feel like doing. So if you want to laugh at my little rainbow socks on my roller skates and you want to say that girl can't skate and why she got, like my son, I'll be jumping into other folks' jump rope. If I see them jumping at school, he's probably, oh my gosh, my mom. I'm gonna get mine in because they could blow this sucker up tomorrow in this particular phase of reality. So I'm going to be intentional about enjoying myself. Feel free to subscribe, share the channel with somebody that could benefit. Play this while you're decluttering. Shout out to my folks in the cocoon. Declutter. Create some company for yourself. Create some support for yourself. There's a competition for your attention, the currency of your attention. Best believe it. All right. I will see y'all soon. Create a great day.